What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown for UFC Vegas 51. We have Vicente Luque going against Belal Muhammad.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
Welcome back to another betting breakdown video this week where we are breaking down UFC Vegas 51, which is, very low level, to be honest, but there are some good fights on the card, and, actually on a low level fight like this, there's a lot of spots sticking out. We'll talk about them. I have 11 bets on this entire card, which is probably way too much on a card like this, but I do feel good about those spots, and 8 of those 11 bets are plus money, so hoping to win some money here. That is always the goal. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Trying to reach that 15,000 subscriber mark in the very near future. Me, Uncle Weezy, Narco Cop, and Eric will be going live 1 hour prior to the prelims for Best Bet, where we'll give her a best bet on each and every fight on the card. And other than that, I think that's about it. We should get right into it because there's a lot to talk about. And, some of these fights I'm going to kind of just glance over. Like, I have no interest in betting Mara Bueno Silva, Wu Yanan, and I don't think anybody really should be. Just fights like that. But there are a lot of fights to do some action on, including the first fight of the night, which is going to be Kevin Croom going against Tang Lee. And I've been kind of hovering over the Kevin Croom money line all week, and I wanted to wait until weigh-ins because he is cutting down to 135, and he made his debut against Roosevelt Roberts on short notice at 155. He fought Kelleher at 145. This is going to be at 135. I wanted to see how he looked. I wanted to see if he could make weight, and he did make weight. Looked very sucked out, but that's as expected as a 5'11 bantamweight. He's huge for bantamweight. As you can see, he's going to have a size advantage over Tang Lee, reach, and height as well. So as far as the fight goes, I think it's a very winnable fight for Kevin Croom. And, this is a very low-level fight, but, Croom is going to have that size advantage. He's going to have the volume advantage. What I don't like about Tang Lee is he's very low volume. He has yet to hit 50 significant strikes in his UFC career, which he has 4 fights. All of them went to decision. And I think the most strikes he's landed is like 46. Like, that's not going to cut it against Croom here. And is Tang Lee going to take Croom down to the mat? I think he could, and I think he should. It's just, that's where Croom wants the fight. Croom is a black belt in BJJ, very good grappler. He wants to get fights down to the mat, but he just has not been successful in doing so thus far in his UFC career against Kelleher, Caceres. But maybe this fight does hit the mat, and if it does, I do like the grappling of Croom. So I think Croom's going to have the grappling advantage. I think Croom's going to have the volume advantage. He's going to have the height and reach advantage. Tang, you got to give him the power advantage. You got to give him the wrestling advantage, but just don't really get the line. Don't get the line. Tang Lee minus 170 just doesn't make much sense to me. Could he knock out Croom? Potentially, but I think that's the way he wins. I think he either knocks out Croom or takes him down for 15 minutes, which he's not really as active as you'd like to see, with the wrestling as a guy that's minus 170. So I took the shot on Croom. Didn't go big on it because it is Kevin Croom, but half a unit plus 155 for me. Estela Nunez, Sam Hughes. I like Nunez here. Hughes 0-3 in the UFC. I think it's 0-4 here. I think Nunez is very impressive on the feet. Hughes kind of a walking punching bag, very bad strike and defense. I will say Hughes has a path of victory in getting the fights down to the mat, but Hughes has not shown the best wrestling so far in the UFC. 0-3 for takedowns, 0% takedown accuracy. If she's not able to take down Nunez, it's going to be Nunez all day. I'm kind of leaning towards this fight, staying standing for 15 minutes. Nunez outpoints Hughes in a very clear decision. Minus 140 for Nunez by decision. Not good enough. I'm not betting this fight, and I would not recommend on betting it, but I will pick Nunez to win. I'll pick her to win, probably by decision, because Hughes is very tough. Trey Ogden going against Jordan Levitt. I do have a bet on this fight. I have 2 bets, actually. I have Trey Ogden minus 130, 1.3 units, and then I have the fight ends by submission, plus 150, half a unit on that. So I'll talk about why I like both. So first of all, I like Ogden here. I like him straight. Ogden is going to have pretty much every single advantage in this fight that you can think of outside of pure grappling. Although Ogden, he is a black belt in BJJ. He is training at a very good gym in Glory MMA and Fitness. He has been submitted 3 times in his 4 losses. That is the only thing that really scares me here. But his last submission loss was 2.5, 3 years ago. And like I said, he's now a black belt. He's training at a good gym. I'm hoping he has shored that part up in his game. But yeah, Jordan Levitt, very good grappler. It's just when you look at Trey Ogden, he's going to have the striking advantage. Clearly, it's not even close. And He's going to have the wrestling advantage. He's able to get fights down to the mat. He's going to be able to dictate where the fight takes place here. If he wants to keep it standing and outstrike Levitt for 15 minutes, I think it's a very good game plan, and that's personally what I would do in a fight here against Levitt. But I do see this fight hitting the mat. I think it can kind of look like the Poyas fight where Poyas was able to take down Levitt, just grind him out. But I actually think Ogden eventually does finish Jordan Levitt as the fight goes on. Levitt does slow down as the fight goes on. I think Levitt's going to be very dangerous early, and I think if Levitt does win, it is a first-round submission. But other than that, I think Ogden's going to be the better striker, the better wrestler. He's going to have the better gas tank. And I just think he's better overall. So, yeah, Levitt is, in my opinion, round 1 sub or bust. And maybe he does get him out of the round 1. But if not, I like Ogden to take over and eventually finish Jordan Levitt in his own right. The reason why I do like the fight to end in submission is Ogden, black belt in BJJ, like I said, 0 knockouts in his career. Levitt, only 1 knockout in his career. And that was a slam knockout against Matt Wyman. Both these guys have a ton of submissions. I think it's like 15 or 16 combined submissions. And that is why I do like the fight ending in sub at plus 150, half a unit on that. Martin Buday going against Chris Barnett. My biggest play on the card is on a low-level heavyweight fight. What could go wrong? I have 2.5 units on Martin Buday, minus 210. So I did see him like a couple weeks ago, minus 150, minus 160. Was not able to tape it, sadly. When I finally got around to it, I was able to get the minus 210, thinking it would get a lot wider, and it hasn't really moved that much. Looks like Buday is around minus 220, minus 230. And, if you guys saw the weigh-ins, Buday looks like an actual heavyweight. He's 6'4", whereas you have Barnett, who is 5'9", at heavyweight. To put that in perspective, Kevin Croom is 5'11", and he just weighed in at bantamweight. So Barnett's just so undersized. I mean, I think you can give the striking advantage to Barnett, but Buday, he's going to push Barnett against the cage. He's going to use his size. He's going to take him down. He's going to finish him. Buday, brown belt in BJJ. Buday, solid wrestling, and Barnett's a fish out of water on the mat. And I think Buday probably even has the cardio advantage as well. So I like Buday here. Could Barnett land a spinning wheel kick? I don't think so. This is not Jean Vellante. This is Buday, who is in his prime. Jean Vellante was Jean Vellante was on his way out in his last fight. I don't think he even trained for his last fight by the looks of it, whereas Buday, I think he is ready for this fight. I think he does pass this test here. So weird, sloppy, greasy fight, but I do like the favor to get it done in Martin Buday. Rafa Garcia, Jesse Ronson. The line is flipped here. No bet for me. It's a very close fight. I think Pick'em is about accurate. You have Rafa Garcia, who's going to be younger, the more active fighter. Very good wrestler, but the problem with Rafa Garcia is the cardio. He does slow down as the fight goes on. Jesse Ronson, lots of red flags with this guy. This guy's now 36 years old, coming off of a PED suspension. You do not like to see that. Long layoff, about 2 years, going against a much younger guy in Rafa Garcia. So I think Ronson should win just based on the fact that one guy has pretty good cardio in Ronson. The other guy is Garcia, who does not have the best cardio, who does tend to slow down as the fight goes on. So I got to slightly lean Ronson for that reason, but I feel like this fight's going to be very close. No bet for me. I'm going to pick the guy with the better cardio and Jesse Ronson, but another kind of close fight there. Next, we have Jakar Close going against Brandon Jenkins. I actually have 3 bets on this fight. Ton of action on this fight here. So the first bet was a bet I placed earlier in the week. It was on the over 2.5 rounds, plus 110, 1 unit at the time, and I think still close by decision was like minus 115. You might as well just take the over 2.5 at plus 110. Jakar Close, not a finisher at all. Has not finished a fight in like over 7 years, and he's like a minus 800 favorite. So I think the over was a great look. But, Jakar Close started talking throughout the week saying he's still feeling the effects of the Jeremy Stephens push. He's still dealing with that stuff. And then on top of that, he weighed in, and he looked horrible. He looked horrible on the scales. I thought he was about to pass out. He looked completely different in this weigh-in, compared it to, the Jeremy Stephens weigh-in a couple years back, and just looks like a completely different fighter. He's now 34 years old. I question the durability. I question a lot of things, and he's sitting around minus 800 against Brandon Jenkins. So with all that said, I like a couple spots in this fight. So I do like the over. I think the most likely scenario is a close decision. He's the much better fighter, and Brandon Jenkins is not great by any means whatsoever. And I said on my live stream that Brandon Jenkins is the worst fighter on the card, and I truly do believe that. And there's a lot of bad fighters on this card. A lot of bad fighters. I think Brandon Jenkins is the worst, but, it's sketchy, and you're close. The narrative around him, the weight cut, the weigh-in, I mean, it's all bad. The layoff is just not good. He's now 34 years old. I have Jenkins by KO sprinkled. I have a quarter unit on Jenkins by KO, plus 1,100. One of these guys is a finisher in Brandon Jenkins, 87% finish rate, and one guy's not. Jakar Close is not a finisher. Jakar Close, 0 finishes in the UFC. Only one of his UFC fights have went under 2.5 rounds, and that was against Beneil Dariush. And again, he's not had a finish in over 7 years. Is he going to finish Brandon Jenkins, who is very, very tough? Like, Brandon Jenkins has next-level toughness. I know he got finished by Rong Zhu, but that was not a great stoppage. He was completely fine, just was getting beat up, so the ref kind of stepped in. And it makes sense, but Brandon Jenkins was contesting the stoppage right away. And then the other knockout loss was a flying knee, I believe. So I like the toughness of Brandon Jenkins. So I have the KO of Jenkins, quarter unit, plus 1,100, and then I also have the scorecards equals no action for Jenkins, plus 450, 0.75 units. Scorecards equals no action, same thing as the finish only. This means if the fight goes to decision, the bet is voided, you get your money back. If Jakar Close wins inside the distance, the bet loses, and if Jenkins wins inside the distance, you hit that plus 450. So that's the way I played it. I have the over 2.5, plus 110, 1 unit. That was earlier in the week after I saw the weigh-ins, after I heard Jakar Close talking about not recovering fully. I put a quarter unit on Jenkins KO, plus 1,100, and then 0.75 units on Jenkins scorecards equals no action at plus 450. So the best case scenario is absolutely a Jenkins finish. That would be awesome, but he's not great. It's more so a fade on the chin of Close, whatever's going on with him, the weigh-in, it just was not a good look. So I think, you still got to pick Close here, but minus 800 it's kind of laughable at this point, and Close probably should not be minus 800 against anybody because most of his fights are close. So yeah, give me Close to win, but those are the 3 bets I have. That's how I'm playing it. Kianzad Landsberg, yeah, not much to say here. Give me the younger fighter in Landsberg to keep this on the feet. I think she's a better striker. Landsberg, low volume on the feet, kind of hittable. Give me the younger Kianzad, but do not give me her at minus 425. My goodness. I think she wins, but you can't play this fight. Like, Kianzad by decision is the most likely outcome in my opinion, but it's minus 185. Pass for me, and very easy pass. Devin Clark, William Knight. I do have a bet here as well. I have William Knight scorecards equals no action, which is the same as finish only. Kind of explained that a little bit, but yeah, this line is off. We have another case where we have one guy who is a finisher, and William Knight, 82% finish rate, and we have Devin Clark, who has a 33% finish rate, which is like the second worst finish rate on the entire card, or third worst. So yeah, if there's a finish, I think it's Knight. I think Clark probably wins by decision, but the finish only for Knight at plus money just made 0 sense to me. So on top of that, William Knight, he looked like a fridge at the weigh-ins. Like, this guy weighed in at like 251. This guy's a light heavyweight, and a very small light heavyweight. But my goodness, he's going to have like a 30-pound weight advantage here. He's going to be more dangerous. Clark should grind him out for 15 minutes, but it's going to be hard moving a fridge around the cage for 15 minutes there. So I don't even know if I like Clark as far as a pick at this point. It's a very weird fight. Just a lot of these fights on the card are very weird, and this is one of them. But I think Knight, finish only, scorecards equals no action is the way to go. I like that. Plus 100. I think it's a solid spot there. Manir Lazez, Lusa here, and Lusa is coming in on short notice. I like what I see from the guy, especially in terms of the toughness. He showed a lot of toughness against Jack Della Maddalena. I got to go Lazez here, though. Lazez had a full camp for this fight. On top of that, Lusa coming in on short notice. How's his cardio going to hold up? I think Lazez is the better striker. I think he has more tools on the feet. Could Lusa potentially take down Lazez, win minutes? Maybe, but I like Lazez here ever so slightly. Probably by decision. I think the over where the fight goes in this fight could be sneaky. Both guys are super, super tough. Super tough. So over fight goes, if anything, but I'm not betting on this fight. Pat Sabatini, TJ Laramie. Pat Sabatini to win inside the distance, 1 unit, plus 125. Yeah, the money line's kind of crazy, minus 500, but I think if this fight hits the mat, and I do think it hits the mat, Pat Sabatini is a wizard on the mat, legit black belt in BJJ. I think he either takes down Laramie, or I don't think Laramie's going to try to take down Sabatini, but you never know. Like, Laramie, that's kind of his game. He's a very good wrestler, but you don't want to go to the mat with Pat Sabatini. But I think Sabatini's going to get him down. He's very relentless with his takedowns. And once he does get him down, it's going to be Pat Sabatini's world. This guy is a very, very good grappler, and I think he's going to have a big grappling advantage. I like Sabatini sub, plus 175, but I did pull the trigger on Sabatini inside the distance, plus 125 on unit. Laramie's been finished in 3 of 4 losses, including 1 by submission. Sabatini gets it done here, I think. Mario Bueno Silva, Wu Yanan. Not much to say here. Bueno Silva, minus 500. Even like the inside the distance would be the one place I would look, but you're only getting plus 175 and a fighter in Silva who very, very good grappler, 3 submissions in the UFC, but doesn't go for takedowns. 0 takedowns in the UFC, 0 attempted. If this fight plays outstanding, I can almost guarantee that Silva's not going to look minus 500 here. So another sketchy fight, a fight that I would never, ever put any money on, especially when they're only giving you plus 175 for Silva inside the distance. I was hoping for something in the 200s, not getting that, so I'm going to pass. Miguel Baeza, Andre Fiallo. There's a play that was sticking out all week. It's going to be the fight ends by KO, minus 115 on, I believe it's on DraftKings, but both these guys, knockout artists. Both these guys have a combined 2 submission wins. Other than that, I think Baeza has like a 70% knockout rate. Fiallo has like a 78% knockout rate. Neither of these guys have been submitted. Baeza 1 knockout loss, been hurt a bunch. Fiallo 2 knockout losses as well. I think somebody probably gets knocked out here. Minus 185, fight doesn't go to decision. Taking that to minus 115 for the fight ends in KO. That'd be the way to look as far as picking a winner. I got to go Baeza. I think he's going to be winning minutes here. I think he's going to be the more active striker. He's going to most definitely have the better cardio. But Fiallo's no joke. Fiallo hits like an absolute truck. So I think somebody's getting knocked out here. I would take the fight ends in KO if anything, but I do not have a bet on this fight. Coming event, Omar Godzilla going against Kyle Baeyo. No action on this fight as well. I think it's a very good fight, a very well-matched fight. I like both these guys a lot. Omar Godzilla, very good wrestler, very good cardio. I like that about him a lot. Kyle Baeyo, very well-rounded fighter. He's a good wrestler in his own right. Black belt in BJJ, going to be the better striker here. He's going to have like a 7-inch reach advantage. I do like that, but it's a close fight. Is Omar Godzilla going to be able to take down Baeyo, control him for 15 minutes? Potentially. Is Kyle Baeyo going to be able to stuff the takedowns, keep it on the feet, outstrike Omar Godzilla? Potentially. I think this fight's close. I think it should be lined to pick him. For that reason, I do lean towards the dog, but I will not be betting on this fight. Vicente Luque, Bilal Muhammad. Main event here, I do have 2 bets, so this is how I played it. So I think Luque knocks out Bilal Muhammad. 25 minutes in the cage with Vicente Luque is a long time. 15 minutes in the cage with Vicente Luque is a very long time. Imagine 25 minutes. Bilal Muhammad, I think he's very alive to come out here, take down Luque for 25 minutes, control him, all the good stuff. It's just, I think at some point Luque is going to find the chin, he's going to find a sub, he's going to find something. He's dangerous anywhere the fight goes. This is not Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. This is Vicente Luque. He's a killer, an absolute killer, finishing all but one of his UFC fights. So this is how I played it. I have Luque to win inside the distance 1 unit plus 120, but what I also did was I put 1.25 units on Bilal Muhammad decision only. Decision only is the opposite of finish only, and scorecards equals no action. This means with the decision only, if the fight ends inside the distance, the bet is completely voided. If Luque wins by decision, the bet loses, and if Muhammad wins by decision, the bet wins. So best case scenario for me is Luque goes out here, finishes Muhammad. My decision only bet with Muhammad is voided, and I win that bet. The next case scenario is Bilal Muhammad wins a decision. I then break even. And then the worst case scenario is Luque comes out here and wins a decision, which I don't really think that happens. I think if this does go to decision, I think it's because Bilal Muhammad is able to take down Luque and control him for the entire fight. But I don't know. I think Luque finishes him at some point in this fight there. So, yeah, lots of action. Sketchy card. Like, this is a very sketchy card. As always, bankroll management, but I do have a lot of bets, so we'll see what happens there. So, I'm going to quickly go over my action. Martin Budai, minus 210, 2.5 units. Biggest bet of the night. Trey Ogden, minus 130, 1.3 units, and then half a unit on the submission. Fight ends by submission for Ogden Levitt, plus 150. Kevin Croom, plus 155, half a unit. Close Jenkins, over 2.5 rounds, plus 110, 1 unit. Jenkins wins by KO, quarter unit, plus 1,100. Jenkins scorecards equals no action or finish only, plus 450, 0.75 units. William Knight, scorecards equals no action or finish only, 1 unit, plus 100. Luque wins inside the distance, plus 120, 1 unit. Sabatini wins inside the distance, plus 125, 1 unit. And Bilal Muhammad, decision only, minus 125, 1.25 units. That's my action for the week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check me out on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. Going to start looking into, I already have started looking into UFC Vegas 52. And if you guys like violence, you're going to love next week's card. and then I start looking into UFC 274 as well. So that's about it, guys. If you want extra content, be sure to check out dfsbythenumbers.com. And I do want to thank you guys for over 200 members over there on the new website. Launched it in January, so we grew really fast, and I do want to thank you guys a ton for that. So that's about it, guys. Best of luck. Let's make some money. Sketchy card, but winning money's fun, and we'll see if we can win some money here. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon.